Hey! Woo! Hey guys, welcome to Henshin Hangout. Johnny, what the hell? You guys, thank you for joining us. We're going to be talking about some Lupat and some Kamen Rider Zio. First off, Johnny, how are you doing today?
I'm doing awesome. It's been a good weekend, been chilling out, everything like that. I got some cool plans for tonight. I'm going to my students' homecoming, and so I'm going to have a blast with my students.
Wait, your students' homecoming?
Yeah, my homecoming. We have our homecoming dance for school.
Oh, really? Can I come?
No, Jez, I can't bring random strangers off the street.
No?
No, I'm already taking a Gami, and that's weird enough.
Oh, can't we spike the punch bowl or something?
No, Jezzer! Stop trying to get me fired!
But yeah, thank you guys for joining us on your Saturday. You could, well, we're going to do it, because someone was saying in the Ranger wrap-up that they were telling me to do the intro on Ranger wrap-up. I was like, no, we'll save it. It's only for Henshin.
It's only for
Only
Henshin.
For you guys that stay with us on Henshin.
This is the heart. This is the love right
Ready?
here.
Ready? Thank you so much for joining us on your Saturday. You could be anywhere else in the world, but you're here with us, and...
We appreciate that.
Thank you. So we're going to be talking about some the new Kamen Rider episode and the new Lupat episode.
Wait, Jezzer, before we get to that, how's your week been?
Tired. I am highly medicated, and I'm not really here.
What
I'm
happened,
not
Jezzer?
really here.
Did you get sick?
No, lack of sleep. So we had that late shoot on Thursday. I went home, and then I had to work at 7, and then I went to the Wreck-It Ralph premiere, and then Joe and Daniel dragged me out to some karaoke bar. Yeah, but...
So you're recovering right now. No wonder you got the Red Bull and everything like that.
Yeah, the Red Bull it's keeping me alive. It's keeping me alive.
The Henshin will keep you going.
Yeah, we'll keep it
Henshin
going.
is amazing this week.
So did you enjoy these episodes this week?
Let's see here. Lupat, I did enjoy because we finally got the villains. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
And Zio...
Garbage!
Well, yeah. No.
No.
Zeno.
You're usually, but you're
Zeno.
Zeno, but you're usually the most optimistic about this series.
I am, because again, I look at him like, oh, this kid wants to be a hero. He has all this potential and everything like that. And so, but this episode, he kind of like disappointed me and dropped the ball in a couple different areas. Like,
but the reason why he was doing the things he was doing, though, was he was trying to infiltrate the whole kingdom or whatever that guy had going.
But see, that's the thing though. It's like, why are you trying to infiltrate it when you know how to defeat the villain? You guys go back in time, you get to his original spot, and you defeat him. Why is he trying to infiltrate the kingdom? It seemed like he just wanted to infiltrate the kingdom just so he can learn how not to be an overlord. But it's like, dude, it's easy not to be an overlord. Don't be a jerk. Don't hurt
Which
people.
episodes in this series did you enjoy? So I could kind of like rationalize on like what type of stuff you're expecting from the series.
So the thing about it is, like, I like the first like couple episodes when we were like establishing the series, and he was like, I want to be a king, I want to be this just king that helps people and everything like that, because I kind of put him as like this zone of this like shonen hero in a way.
Yeah.
Because as I was watching this episode, that's why he was disappointing, because he wasn't being like a shonen hero. And so when I say like shonen hero,
But you're always saying that you like Sougo because he's like those anime characters, though.
Exactly, but this episode he didn't act like that. Like, for example, so you know this episode where he finds out that like he's like, oh, this guy's gonna be a king,
Yeah,
and,
there's
like,
another
and
king.
then he gets excited. But then you notice when we see that dude turn that guy into a monster, like, had this been any other like anime series or anything like that, like Luffy would be like, no, we gotta go beat him up. Goku like, we gotta go fight, we gotta go help these people, whatever.
Yeah,
It's like Naruto would be like, okay, we like every other hero would have been able to help those people. He was still enamored with this guy, which was like, what are you doing? He just turned that guy into like a zombie. Like, come on. Or like, remember when he's in the room and he goes in and he confronts him and he's about to slap that girl?
Yeah.
Like any other like anime hero, like Luffy, pow, would have punched him. Fight would have been on right there.
But
like,
he had to play the part.
So you think he's playing the part here?
He's playing the part to kind of like get on the good side of what's his name? Dan the King.
Yeah.
We'll call him Dan the King.
Dan King.
The guy that licks his lips so much, kind of like LL Cool J.
Yeah, but without the cool factor.
Without the cool factor.
Yeah, Dan King. No relation to Don King. But no, here's the thing. So what'd you think about this week's episode?
It was not good. I mean, there are some good parts. Cause look at whose character. Look at Gates. Gates, he just fell for the whole thing as soon as Sougo was the king's army. Yeah. He's like immediately he goes into this mode. He's like, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna hurt you.
Yeah.
It kind of makes it hard to kind of relate to these characters because they flip-flop so much on like whether they're friends and whether they're not friends, whether their main goal is to work together or not work together.
And I agree with you. And it kind of takes away the connection of it. And then I was watching this. One thing that I kind of realized I didn't like about it is, though, they're very reactionary.
Yeah.
And so, like, in a story, when you're writing something, you want your heroes to be, like, proactive. You want them to be, like, moving forward, trying to do something. Here, it's like something happens, they react to it. It's like, you remember, because I was thinking about the Build. You remember with Build, new villains and challenges show up, but they're always trying to solve a problem. There's always a goal for each episode that would carry on from the last. Like, oh, we're trying to do this. With this one, it doesn't seem to be doing that. And we got Super Chat.
Super Chat, Bat Tusi Man says, next week we talk about past Sentai and writers. Ooh. Nice.
Well, is it? I think. Oh yeah, it is next week. So
next
week. So next week we're gonna let you know at the end of the episode. And thank you, that Batsuai man. We actually are gonna be talking about some past episodes of Sentai, and I think when we tell you what we're gonna be recovering next week, you're gonna like it a lot.
Wait, how does he know?
Because we talked about it last week. We were like,
we
because we were talking about like past Sentai.
Yeah.
And we've been hinting.
We've been hinting
at this retro Ranger wrap up that we want.
Well, what did you think of the villain or the new Another Rider?
He was cool. He was alright.
His acting was a little over the top.
Yeah,
he was like the stereotypical like evil villain with their twirling mustache.
Yeah,
placing girls on the train. I mean,
it reminded me like Ochimaru from Naruto and everything like that, with all the tongue play and everything like that. Which I was like, oh, that's cool. But I was like,
one thing I've always said about this series is that I enjoy the Time Jackers and the Another Riders mostly, and they always take the motivations of the Another Riders is always different, and they always go at it in a different way. This way, Schwartz had chosen, where he said they need to choose a more worthy Another Rider, not this like mediocre person that just has like one single issue that they have.
Right.
This time they chose a actual Kamen Rider where he's crazy.
Exactly.
He's actually from X8.
Yeah, like they chose like a former like villain in a way. They took him, which is actually like, oh, that's smart because he's going to be strong and everything like that.
And he's already going to know the technology. He's crazy.
Exactly.
He's evil. So I mean, he's already on that path. Giving him that push towards that area is going to be easier for him to accept that role. What did you think about just this guy just taking over this part of Japan and then just making his own kingdom?
I thought it was I don't know. It didn't really do anything for me. It felt kind of forced because it's like everything that I own will now be part of like Japan's kingdom and everything like that. And I was like, really, really, like that's the plan? Like how army? Like how? Like, what? Really? Did you think this? No, not really a fan of it. Like,
I felt like they should have gone in there as soon as they got there. They should have gone in there like all suited up and ready to go.
Exactly, ready to fight them like right away. And
especially
like
since they're actually hurting people.
Exactly.
So turning people into zombies or not zombies. It'll look like mummies or something.
Yeah, like I will say they look cool though. The mummy creatures or whatever. I was like, they do look kind of badass. So that was kind of dope. Like I did like they really look at like his henchmen and everything like that, which was dope. And they were hella strong too though. Like they had to do their finishers to take those guys out.
What did you think of the whole thing where they went to the wrong timeline?
Oh, that was kind of hilarious. And it kind of showed like the weakness of the shows that they rely off the clues and everything like that. And so the fact that they had to when they went back to that time, I was like, oh wait, it's actually 2010. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But at the same time, though, I was like, I guess you guys don't really have a writer database or anything like that.
No, especially they looked at the watch that fell on the ground and then looked at the Another Rider. Is it O? And
O's.
Where they looked at him, was like, oh, that's not the same aesthetic. Well, I mean, that must not be the year. But they were just going off the little placard on his back. I did like how they had the physical representation of the actual timeline, where they had pictures of the normal timeline on top, and then where the timeline had like strayed, they had different pictures. They had different pictures, and so this, I think one cool thing about this episode, it leads me to believe that Sougo may not be Omazeo. I mean, anybody could really take up that mantle.
No, I agree with you. That's what I was saying last week. Because the cool thing about like time travel is that at any point he could get replaced or taken out, infected by something. There's a lot of different possibilities where he couldn't be Omazeo. So the thing about this was like, I'm kind of relieved at this point. Like, I don't think he's actually gonna be on that path. I think there'll be some kind of twist or something that'll pop up. They'll kind of confirm that again he's on Omazeo.
Do you feel like Waz is a little disappointed in him right now?
Waz is disappointed right now
in Sougo.
I don't think so. I think he's always enamored with his king and his overlord and everything like that. So I don't really think he feels like disappointed in him.
But Gates is definitely disappointed.
Oh yeah,
in him.
Gates disappointed him all the time.
And then that's not the way you deal with things. Like, oh, we're having a disagreement. Let me just immediately Henshin and just beat the shit out of you. But he didn't. He got his ass kicked.
And the second thing about this is that like I was kind of disappointed because like it's like if we're going to get Gates versus Sougo, I kind of want it to happen later on and be a little bit more higher stakes because right now Gates just took an L and it was a really easy L in that.
Easy L.
Like I was
you already know. I mean, Gates has been a writer probably a little bit longer than Sougo.
Exactly.
And he's already kicking his butt.
And not only that though, but Gates is from the future. He's like from this war torn future. He was like a child soldier, so he should have like all these like experience and like battle experience and everything like that. The fact he's taking L's this early on from Sugo's like that's okay. That's that kind of anticlimactic for us. Mm-hmm. One thing I was also disappointed by was. Remember, so they started talking about the Overlord in the past, United Japan and everything like that?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's cool history. And I was like, oh, what they're going to do? They're going to travel back in time.
Oh, to feudal Japan or something? Yeah.
I was like, this is going to be dope. And all of a sudden, I was like, oh, no, we're not doing that.
No, they just left the page on the table.
Yeah, it was like,
left on the page on the table.
A little piece of history this week, kids. Now you know. It's like, that's it.
It's a little tease, like, oh, we do talk about, the past years, like, but we're not gonna expand on it. I did like the uncle. Where he's like, oh, be sure to get chicken thighs, not chicken breasts.
Exactly.
And then he came, and Gates and what's his name came back. He's like, wait, you guys got hurt like grocery shopping? What's going on out there?
He's like, chicken thighs must have been on sale this week.
But I feel like definitely with his character that he's very underutilized. Or they're playing that whole thing.
Yeah.
They're playing that whole he's innocent, nothing's going on. That's why I still have the assumption that he may be Sougo in the future.
No, I agree. They're playing the uncle very coy. Whereas like he may turn out to be some type of like evil villain or something.
I love how
that
he already has. He knew that was the screen capture we're gonna need.
No, of course. And when he was like, I was like, yeah, this will be it.
I mean, what did you think about them going back? To 2016 versus going to they initially go back to 2010, the actual point where the timeline changed.
It felt like just kind of like a delay in a way from the actual story. Like I wish it, like that's the thing I've talked about like last week. Like the episodes are getting very like predictable. It was like okay, we know what timeline. Let's go back and defeat him and and it just seemed very predictable. Like it was like a little misstep, but it just kind of feels like it's slowing down the overall story. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I wish they would be a little more proactive and like go after the time jackers. I'm like they know the time jackers are there. They know they're the ones who are like doing all these other riders. Why aren't they saying we need to track these guys down?
But the time jackers can stop anytime, even when they're in that. They stopped time while they were there, and they can't really do anything about that.
I agree with you. You're right. But see, that's the thing when I think about like Kamen Rider Build and how amazing that series was.
I did like this suit. I like Gate's suit when he gets the wizard armor.
Oh yeah, it was bad.
That's a great suit.
Because I was thinking about again like Build, and it's like Build would immediately be like, okay, we need to figure something out. We need to make a plan to defeat the time jackers. We need to make a device so they can't freeze or something like that. And so here I'm like, I wish these guys would be more proactive. Their whole thing is always about Sougo, but I'm like, guys, the time jackers are actual ones messing up the timeline right now. They're the ones actually stealing these other writers and creating all this havoc. Shouldn't you guys be trying to like figure out who they are, trying to stop them as well?
Yeah, but. Do you think that would actually be productive by going after time? They're gonna have to coordinate with Gates and Waz and on like how to actually get to where they're at, because the time jackers are pretty much outside of the timeline. They're operating outside the timeline. They can't necessarily anticipate who they're gonna go after next.
Sure, I mean you can figure out maybe like a way to track them down. Figure out a way to do for them.
Actually though, there is a way for them to actually interact with them or get to where they're at. The exact moment where another rider becomes the another rider.
There you go, right
the
there.
Exact moment. So let's say. That's another thing I don't like about how time travel is being used in here. It's not to the exact date or the exact time, kind of like Back to the Future or anything like that. It's to
somewhere
a year.
Around
It's
there.
a year,
yeah,
and just by luck, it's the exact day that they need to be there. But they don't like break it down to like an actual time. So like, oh, let's go back to 2016 and hope it's January and not like November
July
or something.
Or something like that.
You know.
No, I totally agree.
And they never really explained that. You know.
Yeah, because technically you're exactly right. I agree with you, because if you go back to that year, let's say the creature was created in February, but you defeat him in July. Well, technically, you still haven't defeated him at his origin point, so you would keep having to go further back in time until you discover that. It's kind of like a little like plot hole right there.
Yeah, because I like time travel stories, and like I always say, when they described this new series to me, I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. I love time travel. I love when producers or the writers like write time travel into a series, because it could get really creative, and you can definitely mess up timelines and everything. But here, they're not really utilizing it to their advantage.
No, I agree.
And I think that's one of the weak points, and the protagonists are the weak points. I always say that the antagonists, the Time Jackers and Waz, are the most interesting thing about this episode. So I can't wait, if it's possible, that they actually become writers that have suits of their own.
See, and that would be amazing. And it goes back to what I was saying earlier about them just not being proactive enough. They should be more proactive, actually helping move the plot along instead of being so reactionary. Because the Time Jackers are proactive. They're always trying to create villains. They're always trying to revise their plans. Whereas our heroes are just standing around waiting for something to happen.
And what stops them from using the watches on themselves and becoming another writer?
That's probably maybe the Time Jacker's power to corrupt it or something like that.
I think.
I mean, technically, when they do become another writer when they create the armor for themselves and everything.
Yeah. And the whole reveal towards the end where we find that she meets the actual writer from X8. Or from O's. Yeah. Which is, thank you, Toku Kid, for giving this to us.
Thank you, Toku Kid.
So this is actually from this. This is actually the was it coins from the series?
They're pretty dope too. This is awesome. They kind of remind me of like the Dino coins and everything. These are sick.
But that's also one thing I don't like about this series, that they're doing it in two episodes, where the first episode is just a build. It's kind of like the precursor for the next one. So like every first episode of these new writers is kind of boring. It's kind of boring. It doesn't hit its stride till probably the middle of the next episode.
No, I agree with you totally, because that's the reason why when I started talking about this show, and I was like, oh, they're two-parters. Like every episode is two-parters. Yeah. So every episode is going to be like, again, like I feel like,
and they're not, you know what, they're not learning. They're not learning either. They know that the only way to destroy the another rider is using the another rider's actual counterpart watch.
Yeah.
So I don't know why he thought that going back to 2016 and using a different watch was going to actually stop him.
I feel bad right now because at the beginning of the series, I was so excited for it, and you and Jess were like, "Johnny, it's not good." I was like, "No, guys, it's so much fun. It's so cool." And now I'm just like, "Oh man,
it's very lackluster. It's very unenjoyable."
This fight super disappointed me. Like the fight, it was a squash match.
Yeah.
Like again, Gates barely got any offense in. Like Sougo was really transforming and fight him as he was transforming.
Oh,
I was overkill.
I did like how Gates is the one that actually helped Sougo Henshin because he kicked the little
yeah.
Another thing that we were talking, our producers were talking about before the show started, is that when was the last time that they were on a motorcycle? Why do they even call it Kamen Rider? What if they're not riding really anything except for those stupid looking time travel machines?
No.
Those stupid looking time travel machines.
See, that's the thing though. Why shouldn't the motorcycle take them through time?
What the hell? No, I mean, no, they look stupid. It looks like do you remember when Gillette had that little robot thing, or when the NFL had those little robots before?
Yeah.
That's what they look like. They don't fit.
Transformer. Yeah,
they don't fit, and they move super weird and cheap. And they move super weird, and it doesn't fit. Like,
and also, if you're going to make a time travel robot, why would it be a time frog?
Is it a frog?
It looks like a frog most of the time. The way he's like jumping around and everything like that, with the big legs and everything like that.
I don't know. I don't like it. I especially don't like it when they actually turn into like a robot mode. I especially don't like it when they turn into that robot mode where it really looks like those damn NFL robots. So I don't know.
I know, actually, when they do the robots and fight each other, I do enjoy that. But I think
really,
I like robots. Giant robots are cool. Gundam, dude.
What was that show? Exosuit or something? That's what it reminds me of. Exo Squad.
That was an awesome show.
I'm not saying it. I'm just saying that. That's what it looks like when they're controlling it, or like Avatar. Remember Avatar when they had the little exosuits? Where that's what it reminds me of.
I was thinking Avatar Last Airbender, not Avatar Blue People.
No.
We're fighting.
I would have said The Last Airbender.
Yeah,
but that's what it reminds me of.
And when they're like doing this, going back and forth, everything like that, for me it reminds me of G Gundam, because G Gundam goes with the same premise where like they're inside the mech and it mimics their moves and control and everything like that. That's what kind of reminds me of. But I will say again, it would make more sense if they would just had to drive their motorcycles, and it was like, we've got to get up to 80 miles per hour.
Yeah, we got to hit 88 miles per hour.
Exactly, that would be so sick, and that's how they time travel.
Yeah, that would be the best way to time travel, just like going max speed. And
exactly.
Then this is actually a series for Kamen Rider where you could literally ride bikes the whole time. Ride bikes straight into the future.
Exactly.
Or the past. Or whatever, wherever they're going.
And that's the thing, though. Again, you brought this point up a couple weeks ago, and you're right, is that they're not going back in time enough. Like, in this episode, when I thought they were going to go back to feudal Japan, I was all aboard for it, then they kind of dropped the ball.
They did in the first episode.
They did. Only the first episode when they went to go see those dinosaurs.
It's expensive, maybe.
Probably.
It's CGI probably. What, the CGI dinosaurs with elephant noises? I'm never gonna let that down. It's an elephant noise. Dude.
How do you know what a dinosaur sounds like? Dinosaurs could have sounded like elephants.
What?
How do you know what a dinosaur sounds like?
It's gonna sound like an elephant.
It could.
No.
What do you think a dinosaur sounds like?
Huh? But for the show, for the show, for the
That's
show.
what it sounds like? Huh?
No, for the for the show. For the show. I mean, we kind of know what dinosaurs might sound like from Jurassic Park and all that, but not towards the elephant. Not towards the elephant. Not definitely not an elephant. But let's go. Since what would you give this episode?
Okay, so we're giving it out of was it 5?
Yeah,
Five
watches.
5 watches.
Shut up.
1.5.
1.5. I'll give it.
1.5.
No, wait. Let's. I'll give it a 1 out of 5. Definitely.
1 out of 5.
So yeah. What do you guys? I always look forward to this part because. Is it Lupat or this where Layla's like, oh, I didn't watch it out of 5? What do you guys think of
she's
it?
still watching Lupat for Noel.
Oh.
So
No, she hates Noel, she says.
I thought she loved Noel. That was her new Marvelous.
Give us what you guys rate this episode.
Right.
David says 2 out of 5.
Didi,
Both of them are in here.
1.75
out of 5. Crab Stomp 3.5. The cool guys 3.5. Some of them
Nathan,
actually
2.5?
are. It's a little bit on the positive
Oh
side.
my gosh! What is this?
What?
Elatori's gave it 5 out of 5 because of Dan Kurtoshin.
Now we're definitely not on the same page as you.
He says the story is booty though.
The story is booty. It's the story is booty.
Layla says, "I don't care. If the show's bad.
Look, not enough gasoline. 3 out of 5.
J Balls gives a 4. Champion gives a 4.5 out of 5. The Batsoi, the Botosai man gives it Dancia out of 5.
Okay.
And so I will say this is an interesting thing. When we do Lupat, the scores are kind of we're all kind of like lined with each other.
You think so?
But yeah, but this one, everyone's like we're always kind of scattered in here because like some people hate it, some people love it.
When I see the scores and they're like positive, it kind of makes me think, am I missing something here?
Low-key,
like, are we missing something?
See, here's the thing, though. I don't think we are because, like,
you're a comic book artist, if you don't know. So your storytelling is a huge thing for you.
Exactly, and
if it's not hitting for you, then I agree. I'll agree with you.
Yeah, the story's not hitting in a lot of places, and I think the one thing about the show is that I think it's mostly a nostalgia factor too, where people are watching this who watch other Kamen Rider series, they're getting that nostalgia trip. It's like, oh, I remember this character. Oh, this character's coming back. But the problem for me is though is that like when Gokaiger did it, when they did their anniversary, they were going back many past seasons and whatnot.
Yeah.
It was always worked in flawlessly, and they always kind of explained everything, and so everything kind of made sense. And so even if you never watched that series, you understood the plot of that episode. But here is like. It's sometimes when they introduce these people, you don't always know their backgrounds, and so it gets kind of lost.
It's like they kind of get on the right footing in some episodes, and then they kind of fall back. Mm-hmm. But let's talk about the other show that we're going to talk about today, Lupat. What did you think? Did you enjoy this episode? No.
Yes, I did enjoy it. I have some critiques of it.
Okay.
Mostly towards the end, but no, I did enjoy this episode.
Yeah.
It was cool.
I like the whole dynamic between Kichiro and how he's really trying to help. He's really trying to help Kairi, but Kairi's not having it.
Not at all.
He doesn't give. He doesn't care. Kairi's not having it. This was a fun episode too because every single episode, we're always talking about how the Ganglers are a non-factor in the show. Mm-hmm. Like nothing. We don't have any scenes with the bad guy except for the Gangler that makes the monsters grow.
Yeah.
But here we got a few.
No, yeah, exactly. Zamigo showed up.
Zamigo
showed up.
Finally.
Wherever he's been chilling at this whole time. Like, Zamigo showed up, and then I was like, oh, Zamigo's here.
And Zamigo is savage. Look,
oh, yeah, Zamigo don't care.
He doesn't care.
Zamigo don't care. He be giving out
No,
L's
but
left
here's
and
the
right.
thing, though. So in this episode, there was 2 Ganglers that the Patrangers are going up against that were going up against, and they're kind of a little scared. One controlled vehicles, and one shot out Temperor Shrimp.
Yep. You know which one was my favorite?
The Temperor Shrimp? But Zamigo killed him immediately.
Yeah.
But he had a safe on him.
That's what I was thinking too. Well, he killed him. I was like, so did he destroy that dude's collection piece?
Time out. Did you destroy the safe? Did you destroy any possibility that the Lupinrangers are going to get their family back?
Exactly. And they never talked about it. Other than when explaining, like, oh, he destroyed him, but then he picks up the collection piece or something like that. They just never addressed it.
He shoots him. He walks away, and there's no remnants of the dead Gangler. It just kind of like all block ice pieces.
And look, there he is right there with that safe in his chest. And so, granted, he never used his power, so maybe he didn't have a Lupin Collection piece, but I would have liked for him to address it, though, or say something about it.
Another cool thing about this episode is the that we got. What?
I do have a question though. So when Zamigo shows up, you know, how Zamigo he's two safer. He has those 2 goals.
Yeah, kind of like his ulcers.
Yeah.
Another super chat from Batusi, man. Thank you. It's pronounced Batusi. Why?
I said Padosai. That's all though it was. Like,
what did you say?
Padosai. Yeah, we're on the kitchen. Padosai.
Padusa.
So it's Batusi. My bad,
Batusi.
Batusi. Sorry about that. My bad, Batusi.
That was another super chat.
Thank
He had
you
to
for the super
explain
chat.
it. What were you saying?
I was saying because like you know they have the safes right there.
Yeah.
And you know how they put the Lupin Collections in their saves, and that's how they use the Lupin Collection powers and everything like that.
Yeah.
Here's my question: when the Lupin Collection is safe, what do they put in their saves?
I don't know. Lunch?
Exactly. I'm like, why?
Like-
it feels like it evolved. I was like, what do you do when you don't have those collection pieces?
Chipotle burritos?
Maybe it's a medicine cabinet. It was like, oh, these are my antacids.
Well, we don't know
I have
if
vitamins
well,
right
we don't
here.
know with the
clear eyes.
with the creation of these collection pieces. We don't know with the collection of these. They're empty at the moment, right? Oh, so they keep them empty. But
It is weird. Then why do you have them?
well, we don't know
It's
if
like-
with the creation of the collection pieces, if that's when they came about. or
Exactly.
when-
So maybe.
Yeah.
But see, that's another thing. Going back to our villains, I was really happy we got our villains this week, and I was like, "Cool, the villains are here. They're gonna have some kind of plot.
No,
There's
dude.
something going on." And then it's like, "Oh, they're also after the ship."
No.
Okay.
Noel got his ass whooped on this episode.
Oh yeah, no.
Like, to the point, and they kind of made it really predictable when he was on the ground kind of flinching and like, oh, it's going to be the end of Noel. No, the Patrangers are still around. Because they came in, like, super late. They came in super late. They could have, that's why I feel like at this point in time, especially at the back end of this series, that they should be working together by now.
Yeah.
Because imagine if it was all 7 of them at the same time, they can be blowing through these
they would be
Ganglers easily.
They'd be unstoppable.
So what did you think about this whole Noel fight?
I did-
Or the whole like rift between the Patrangers and Noel?
Well, it does kind of remind us again that they're not together because in the past couple episodes we've seen them coming together as a team, like in the last episode. So it's kind of reminders like, no.
But that's Noel's fault though.
Yeah, true. But it's like it's kind of reminders that you know what, there's still some mistrust right there because Noel knows stuff that he's not telling either team, and then the two teams still aren't working together. But what I did love about this is though I love the fact that the cops came to support him, and they're like, here's the thing, we don't care what secrets you keep from us because we're always going to help you because you're a human being. That's what we do. That's our job. And I was like, and that's why I respect the Patrangers.
Yeah, that's why you respect Kichiro.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Like, I feel like if he would kind of just like loosen up a little bit, I think he's a better leader than Kyrie.
I agree.
I think he's a better leader than Kyrie.
He is, because I will say this though, Kyrie's a great Kyrie Loki's like a great Six Ranger in a way. He's great at I gotta go do some dangerous stuff. I can be on my own.
Because he's a lone ranger.
Yeah, exactly. He goes like today was like it wasn't like the team's going to get inside the Zord. It's like no, I'm gonna do some cool stuff and I'm going to get inside the Zord. So Kyrie's like a good just ranger on his own, but Kichiro is a great leader and a great inspires others. He's a great team player.
What did you think of the new collection piece, the one that was in space?
Oh yeah, the little steering control thing. I thought that was cool.
No, but it wasn't really in space.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're talking about the ship.
The
C-130
C-130
piece they got off his chest.
Oh, the C-130.
Yeah. That was cool. It was dope. I was surprised by the fact that it had a little tank inside of it.
That was cool. That
yeah.
tank thing was probably my favorite part.
Yeah, that
because the
tank thing was
C-130 we really didn't do anything. It was just flying.
It felt like when I was watching it, I was wondering what it was going to do, what weaponry it had. But now it seems like it's just right here. It is right here.
It's a carrier ship. It's a carrier ship. It's a carrier ship, and I thought it was going to be another piece where they don't need Goody, where that could be one of the base pieces.
I think it is though because it's so big and carries other stuff inside of it, and you saw how those other Zords kind of clamped onto it. Mm-hmm. I think we're going to see it later on in the next episode. We're going to see it transform into something. What do you think about the tank?
The tank was dope.
Tank was bad.
I like the tank, especially when Kyrie came in just blasting away at the Patrangers and the Gangler that was on the ground. What did you think about? Oh yeah, and it had it was not only a tank; it was kind of like a forklift.
Yeah, which was weird. I was like, why would you have that?
Yeah,
but it was cool though.
But I mean, this stand. Okay, look, we were talking about Kamen Rider Zeo before. This CGI stands out like it does, but I don't know why it doesn't bother me as much as the time traveling rabbit things in Kamen Rider Zeo. But I do like this. I like the color scheme. I like the red, yellow, and blue. But no, and I like that it just starts blasting away. What did you think about the Gangler taking an L? The big Gangler, not this one.
The Green Gang, the general. That was cool because they all had to like work together to do it. And I love that fight when the Patrangers show up at first and you have to use their final attack just to kind of get some separation and whatnot. I love that fight scene. Like, this guy kind of shows himself as a big boss who I wish we were seeing more often, honestly.
Yeah.
And he's bad at it. He reminds me of like a Goldar type, somebody who they would constantly have to keep fighting over and over again.
You don't think that Zamigo is the Goldar type?
But see, the problem with Zamigo is we don't see him enough. And Zamigo's that boss we need to defeat to get their families back too.
I feel like Zamigo is stronger than the actual Don.
I can see that because even the way they were talking about how he has that. Well, see, here's the thing. I don't know. Zamigo does have that one-shot kill, but the time we actually saw the Don fight, remember he just waved his arm. And blew them all up.
Yeah.
And again, that kind of. I wish we could see more of the Don and more of Zamigo.
Do you remember? And it's kind of cool now that when you look at the table where the big head boss man is, there's a lot of empty seats now. There's only like 2 or 3 Ganglers in that area. There's one episode where they had a grip of him, like just listening to everything that he was saying. But now it's like it's dwindling down because the Lupinrangers and Patrangers are just like killing him off, and they can't do anything about it.
So maybe this is the Don's plan the whole time.
What?
Maybe he's trying to get them to all be eliminated, and his plan is to steal the collection piece for himself or something like that. Because the collection piece is all spread amongst the Ganglers. Maybe he wants to collect all these Gangler pieces for himself. Maybe that's his ultimate plan.
For the Patrangers and Noel, what do you think he can do to kind of bring them back together, where they can trust him?
Oh, Noel, you mean?
Noel.
I think that's going to happen later on when when the stakes get high enough and people's lives are on the line, the Patrangers will put everything aside to work with the Lupinrangers. Because I think that's what's going to take for them to bypass the law and everything. What do you think about Noel's new battle upgrade this episode? His battle shield.
Goody knows a little too much about all these pieces and what it can do for everybody.
Yeah.
Do you think that Noel was the suit was great. Do you think that Noel was the actual do you think that Noel was the perfect choice to get the super suit?
Okay. I'm happy you asked me that question. No. Here's the reason why. So Noel gets his battle upgrade, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then the show goes off, and they show the next week's episode, and Kairi gets another battle upgrade. And I'm like, can Kichiro get something? Can another Red Ranger get something on the show? Kichiro is getting nothing.
No,
it's like they don't trust him.
It's not just Kichiro. The Patrangers get nothing.
Nothing.
All they have is
stuff.
They have maybe their three main changers, and then they have that motorcycle one,
yeah.
And that's it. 4. How many do the Lupinrangers have? They have everything.
Exactly. They've got the scissors, the boomerangs, all these different things, all the fire trucks, all these different arsenal they have to call upon now. I mean, Noel has 3 trains.
See,
and like that.
Noel is playing favorites, and that never works.
No, and now he gets his battle upgrade with that. I will admit to say though, his little shield shooting those things. I
didn't like how he has to go like this to shoot it though.
Oh, how he has those hands like
with
this?
the triggers on the sides.
You know what?
And I will
say it is awkward, but damn it, I love the battle sequence here where he's blowing up and all the.
Oh, look at this, like this. Well, it's so weird. It's just a weird position for him to be.
Crane.
Karate
Kid Crane.
Nah. And then so on the actual suit, it has the Patranger badge.
I kind of want to edit that out where it says I'm saying that's incredible. That's some bullshit.
No,
we ain't got nothing.
Kiyocho's like, hey, when do I get my toys? No, you stingy motherfucker. But if you look on, he's covering it now. The shield has the
exactly. As soon as I was like, so it has a badge on it. So why didn't it go to Kairi?
But
to Kichiro.
It looks cool. I wish that it would actually resemble the tank though. The colors would resemble the tank.
Really red
so
and
then you know
that.
That's where it's derived from.
But this is interesting too, though, because if you think about this fact, the fact that it does have a badge on there, and the fact that it's an old Lupin Collection piece,
look at that thing.
It kind of shows that
even the
toy has a little badge there.
It has a badge there. So it kind of technically the Patrangers have this.
Well, no, Noel has that.
Oh,
but here's the thing though, it kind of shows that if you go back to it, the fact that it has a badge on there kind of shows that the Grand Master Lupin was always intending for them to work with the cops in a way.
You mean Kiyocho?
So you're still with that theory?
I'm still going with that theory. Can we bring up the picture again? If it turns out what?
If it turns out Kichiro is the Grand Lupin, I'll feel better about this.
He's the Mark Ruffalo of this story. He's the Now You See Me. It's him. I'm telling you, it's him. Japan's not creative enough to like hire a different actor to hire a different actor to play this.
I would throw it that time. He deserves it.
But I mean, in the preview for the next episode, you saw that. Kyrie has the armor. You think that's also derived from the tank, or is that derived from the C-130?
I think I think it's gonna be a new collection piece.
You think it's gonna be a new collection piece?
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of looks like.
Oh yeah, you're right. It could be the C-130 because of the engines on there and the plane aspect.
Oh man.
Why couldn't Kichiro get some of this?
Well, because this. Okay, first off, you notice that all the stuff with dials goes immediately to Lupinrangers. Yeah, this is probably from the C-130.
Oh, dude.
No, I mean eventually they're gonna get.
We got like 10 episodes left.
Huh?
We got like 10 episodes left.
So you think they're not gonna get anything?
Here's the thing. It'll probably be like Grease, where they get an upgrade at the very, very last minute. But it kind of won't count that much because we won't get a chance to actually see them use it in battle. But hopefully so.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed this episode. It was cool. I did like when it was kind of messed up when Noel came in to sit down, like, oh, let's find you a chair, and then there's like, oh, we're leaving anyways. He's really put into this situation where like he's not really liked by any of them really,
because he can't trust him because he's got secrets.
Because he's a
and I will say this though, it's about time to let these secrets come out because you really do want them to start coming together, and it would be dope to see like this whole team together in these last few episodes.
Yeah.
So question, want to check out the comments real quick? It's kind of blowing up here.
Go for it.
Okay, so Crab Stomp, I'm with you. Crab says, come on, Patrangers deserve better. I agree with you.
But they're not getting better because they're only getting like 10% of the Lupin collection. Mm-hmm. Because Noel's being a dick.
Pretty much. He's playing favorites. David says, whack design for Noel. I agree with you. Layla's, oh wow, okay, Layla's going, she's dropping a lot of these. She's saying hashtag Noel is a Lupin Collection piece.
Noel is what?
Layla thinks that Noel, like Goody, is part of the Lupin Collection.
Like he's
an actual piece.
What do you think about that? Like
it's interesting.
He's gonna turn into a Lupin Collection piece at the end.
He is a Lupin Collection piece. Like this whole time he's a Lupin Collection piece. Do
you think that's why there's a disconnect with him and everybody else because he's not really
a human? He's like a cyborg or android.
Yeah, which kind of makes Kiichiro's whole little speech at the end of this episode kind of like mute because he's like.
But at the same time, though, it makes it more interesting too because like in the fact he said particularly because you're a human being. Mm-hmm. Holy crap, Layla could be right. Notice the word choice right there because I remember watching it was like because we're cops and we protect people, but the fact he says because you're a human being is like, oh, maybe that's the secret he doesn't want to open up and share with them because if he tells them that he's not a human being, they're like, well, do we still? I am on board. I think Layla's right. I think I'm on board with Layla's
I'm still gonna go with the whole.
Kichiro's a Grand Lupin.
Kichiro's a Grand Lupin.
So we have two theories right now. We have Kichiro's a Grand Lupin, and we have Noel's Lupin Collection piece.
There's another thing that a lot of us here really like is the Magnum gun, and they didn't use it.
No, they didn't. The Magnum gun's been on the sideline.
Huh?
By the way, it's been on the sidelines lately. By the way, we got a comment from Johnny Murr. Sorry for mispronouncing your name. Johnny M. It says, hey, Johnny Jezzer, I love the makers of battle in the Rock Quarry. P.S. Lupin vs. Pat has battle scenes in the Rock Quarry that has, I guess, more battle scenes in the Rock Quarry than Time Ranger, Ranger, and Go Busters. They do go to that Rock Quarry a lot. That is where they have a lot of their battles at.
It's easier to shoot. Versus like what is it? Old Mighty Morphin Power Rangers where they're fighting in a city, just like tearing down buildings left and right. Mm-hmm. But they never really explain like if Angel Grove actually is able to like build these things back because they're just tearing down all these cities. So of course,
imagine if you had a building there, you're like, we're going to rebuild, and the next week it's
nice. It's nice of the Ganglers to fight in like a neutral area where no civilians can really get hurt. Mm-hmm. So that is true.
They're being more cautious.
What do you want? How do you want this series to end? Because got like 10 or 11 episodes left. How do you want it to end? Do you want it to fizzle out? Do you want it to? Because I don't think it's hit its stride yet.
I want it to end with the Lupins getting their families back. I want it to end with the Patrangers kind of like being shown, like become the full heroes we know them to be and getting the recognition they deserve for it. Mm-hmm. I want Noel's mystery ever to be resolved, and I hope we find out who the Grand Lupin is. And
We already know who the Grand Lupin is, man.
you know who the Grand
We
Lupin
already
is.
know who the Grand Lupin
And
is.
my last thing is, I really want the Ganglers to do something.
The Ganglers?
I want them to have some type of purpose, because right now they're just showing up every week.
Yeah, but I mean, we've been saying like how we wanted Zamigo, we wanted Zamigo, and he came back. I would much rather have the human Zamigo though, the human Zamigo come back, because I feel like he definitely has a connection to this team too.
Well, so what anything you want this to happen for the series ends?
I want the family. Yeah, for everybody to get their family back. I want cooler Ganglers, like more like Zamigo, more people that they just don't give a fuck. I want more power-up suits or more collection pieces for the Patrangers, and I kind of want Patranger to get his chance with Umika.
I'm on board for that one.
Yeah.
I'm on board for that one. Oh, we got a super chat.
Anthony Davis with 2 eyebrows says they should stick to just movie versus and not a show. What do you think? Movie versus. No? Yeah. Well, I mean, it's an interesting idea. We still haven't got the Q Ranger movie subtitles yet. That's the one thing that sucks, is that we get to watch all these new episodes every single week, but we don't get the actual like movies.
Yeah, that's true.
Till like years after.
We should. Maybe we should review a movie every once in a while.
Like watch the movie
Watch one of the
episodes,
movies
yeah.
one of the times. Okay, so what would you give it out of 7?
Out of 7, I will give it 4.5 out of 7. Rangers.
4.5. I did like Noel's power up. I will agree the little hand things are a little awkward holding, but damn if it wasn't bad A when he shot it though. I like the fact that the Patranger showed up and helped him out, save the day right here. I like the fight scene with the big general from the Ganglers and everything like that. All in all,
So he's done.
Is he? Yeah, he might be done.
He might be done.
Yeah. All in all, I'd have to give this. Would you give it?
I haven't given it anything yet. You?
I would give this 5 out of 7.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
let's see what David says. 5 out of 7. Moomin Rider. I don't know who it is. Says 0 out of 5.
How did you?
I didn't do it. My hands are right here.
Your
J Boss
hands were just down.
2.3. Crab Sound 5 out of 7. 5 out of 7 from DDT. Layla 5.5 out of 7. So they're very positive about this episode, which it's.
And Batusi also gave it a I didn't see out of 7.
He took the Layla move. He did the Layla move.
But thanks for still watching. Talk about it with us.
Yeah, but I did enjoy it, and I hope that they keep going in this direction, this positive direction of the character development for this team. I do want more Patranger stories because it's all Lupin. It's all Lupin. They should just call this Ranger Lupinranger. More Patranger stories. More stuff with Kiichiro and what's Pot Pink's name?
You know
Is it Tsukasa? No.
What's Patranger Pink's name?
Yeah, Patranger.
Patranger
I
Pink?
want more.
What's her name?
More stuffed animal episodes. More stuffed animal episodes.
More stuff animal episodes.
Yeah, because I think that's where I base all my ratings, is that one episode. Huh? No, that's not it. I was gonna say it too.
You were about to.
I was gonna say
You were about
it too. But more episodes like that. That was my favorite episode to this day. So more episodes like that, because it's definitely fun seeing them interact with each other without them actually knowing their true identities.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm really hope they get a
Tsukasa. Everybody's saying Tsukasa. Thank you, Tsukasa. I was right. Bat2C Man says he had to say with a super chat. Thank you. He says next week let's talk about. Let's talk about Zoo Ranger or Jetman.
Can I tell him? What we're talking about? Can I tell him, Jezzer? Jezzer, can I tell him?
Yeah,
Can I tell him?
you can tell him.
So here's the thing. So we've been talking about our own retro Henshin show, and so we've been talking about what we're going to talk about.
This makes me feel like Bat2C Man is.
Bat2C be knowing stuff.
No, I think that's Justin. What is Justin's? What's Justin's screen name on YouTube? He knows stuff.
Nah. But all right, so here's what we're doing. So next week, because we have, as you guys know,
Jetman is GOAT. Everyone's like, Jetman is GOAT.
Jetman is dope. I told you, I've been studying up on the past Sentai series. Jetman's bad A. Jetman's really good. And there's another one I want to review too. But so here's the thing, we've been doing research and looking at different things to cover. And so we talked about it. And for our our pilot retro Henshin show, we're gonna be covering
Backdoor
Zoo Ranger.
Pilot. Yeah, Backdoor Pilot.
Yeah, we're gonna be
because
covering
next week there isn't a new
Pada versus Lupin.
Yeah.
So we'll be covering Zoo Ranger, particularly the 5-episode series where the Green Green Ranger shows up. The Dragon Ranger.
Zooranger, which was the Super Sentai version of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and because we know that you guys love Mighty Morphin Power Rangers for
And
the
you know that we love Mighty
for the
Morphin Power
nostalgia
Rangers.
factor, definitely for the nostalgia factor. It's gonna be great to kind of like compare it to the original
Mighty Morphin.
the Green Medieval Saga.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun to see how they did it. I actually like Zooranger because in the series, the Red and Blue are brothers, and he actually dies.
Exactly. Spoiler, Jezzer.
It's how many years?
Jezzer,
It's
spoiler.
25 years
Jezzer,
in
they
the
might
making.
watch
If
it
you
for the
don't,
first time,
if you do
Jezzer.
not know that the Green
Jezzer,
Ranger dies,
no.
then you guys are
Jezzer,
living under a
stop
rock. I'm
saying
sorry.
it.
I'm sorry.
But make sure you tune in next week because we're gonna have awesome time. It'll be all three Henshin Bros. Henshin High
Yeah,
Five.
Justin's coming back.
Henshin High Five. Bam. So make sure you're here for it because it's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be great. So if you guys want to talk with us about the Zooranger Green series, we're gonna be doing it.
Oh,
Well, I mean,
Batusi
see,
says,
everybody.
I'm not Justin. ... Or am I? If Justin was free, he would be here right now.
No, it's so easy for someone to be.
No, Justin would
yeah.
be no.
So if you get like just from the chat, everybody's saying Jetman. I kind of want to check it out too.
Oh, no, so here's the thing. I've been telling you, I've been looking at the past Henshin Sentai series, everything like that. And so I was watching some of Jetman, and it has a dope story.
Really?
It's really good. Like a couple of the really past ones are really, really good and really worth checking out.
Better? Would you say it's better than Gokaiger? If you guys don't know,
Nope.
Johnny loves Gokaiger.
Nope.
Like that's what he uses to grade everything.
It is.
Have you ever shown Gokaiger to your kids?
Yeah, several times.
Really?
Yes, and they love it every single time.
Why were there no teachers like you when I was in high school? I had like the most boring ass teachers.
You should say I just finished teaching Death Note on Tuesday.
So what if like a superintendent or a principal came into your office or came into your class and was like, "What the hell is this? What's on your screen?"
I get everything approved ahead of time.
Do you really?
Yep, and I tell them how it relates to the content.
It's not.
It's
Yeah.
a real school. It's a public school.
So like when you bring it to the teacher, it's like, okay, this is how I want to. What's the angle? What's the angle?
For which one?
Like when you bring
That's
like
all Death
anime or Gokaiger, yeah. So let's say, oh, this relates to my curriculum.
So here's the thing. So I taught Death Note with Lord of the Flies, and they have a lot of the similar things because both of them are about how power corrupts people.
Mm-hmm.
And so I show them again. I explain to my admin how in Death Note, once he gets to Death Note,
Do you make
he's
them
also
watch
on
it
power
as you're
corruption.
giving your pitch? Because I imagine like the school board and you're like at the front of the long table and you have like a slideshow. It's like this is for this. This is no.
I literally go in there. I explain it to them. I say I'm going to do this, this, and this, but I'll be doing with this, and they're still going to read and write this.
Are
stuff.
they reluctant at any point in time?
I've been teaching for 13 years. They trust me.
They trust you.
Yeah.
Should they trust you?
That's for a different time.
But I mean that's really cool. So
you.
if you guys are still in high school and you live in the area, you should just go transfer to his school. But yes, that's the end of the episode. Thank you guys for watching. Come back next week because we're going to be doing the Zooranger version of the Green with Evil. So that's going to be fun.
That's going to be awesome.
That's definitely
I'm
going to be fun.
looking forward to it. So
It's going to be an episode where no JDF's not in there though.
It will be.
Yeah.
And some people will be upset. I'll be upset there's no Jason, but that's just me.
Yeah.
But Jezzer, where can everybody find you at?
You guys can find me on all social media at Jezzer Zeus.
You can find me at JohnnyP313
Oh,
on
man,
Instagram, Twitter, and on Gumroad. You can also check me out on my podcast. Where we
We didn't have. There's no like long. What was it? 10? It was 10.
we got the 10 last time.
That's
it was
amazing.
like podcast,
That's amazing.
webcomic, and then he goes guest stars and stuff. Justin stays busy.
If you
Justin
guys,
is hustling.
If you guys are always wondering why Justin's always gone, it's because that dude. There's not enough time in the day to get things done. But remember, if you guys are in, do all states practice daylight saving time? No. Well, and if you're in California, you get an extra hour. So Justin gets an extra hour of work. So good for him. He's going to use that hour. Definitely going to use that hour.
But as always, everybody, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sharing your Saturdays with us. We love talking about Henshin and Sentai with you, and we had a blast.
Yeah, and then next week is going to be kind of like testing the waters for a retro Henshin. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for spending your Saturdays with us. And be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to keep up to date with everything trending.
And geek pop culture.
Bye.
Be out.